ICE agents with no marked clothing, no identification, no marked vehicles being able to kidnap people off the street. And as everyone could have fucking predicted, this is inciting normal people who are not ICE literally at all to go in and start kidnapping people.
These are people who are like locally trained militias. These aren't ICE agents. These are just regular people who have all of the tactical gear.
ICE vests you can get off Amazon now. And I've literally seen like videos of young white men, obviously, cosplaying it. And they're like, I love to see the people run.
These people feel like movie villains to me.
It's a very dark time to be an American right now. Starting off strong with a case that has rocked the nation, the mayor of New Jersey has been arrested for trying to get involved with an ICE detention center. And that is sparking the conversation from the Trump regime that they can just arrest Congress people for inspecting these ICE enclosures, which is crazy because that is literally their constitutional right. So
basically they're saying, they're trespassing, which they did not trespass. They started the confrontation. If you read the reports, you'll see that this is MAGA. They started this. I mean, this is even before this event happened, right? It's the rhetoric.
Outside of the ICE detention center, MAGA was there?
There were people that were protesting, then you had police and you had ICE and things like that. So I'm like, it's also just the rhetoric. It's the type of actions that have been taken, the things that have been said, even before just leading up to this. It's like they created this vacuum. And now they're like, oh, you can't be here, you can't do this, you can't say this, all these things. They're like, oh, you can't go to the detention center. Well, you can't go into the Capitol and break in and smear shit all over the walls.
Yeah. Some would argue that it should be considered good that Congress is trying to go into these ICE detention centers to make sure there's no abuse of power happening. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid someone like, of MAGA's family or they themselves, if they're not a citizen or they're not, legal or whatever it is, they get put in these places. I would hope for just humanity's sake that, you get treated the right way or like you have, proper water, food, shelter, whatever it might be. When I mentioned January 6th, you have to remember that MAGA, they went to the D.C. jail, be like, oh, we want to visit these people and make sure that they're okay. QAnon shaman, he was like, oh, I'm organic. I can only eat certain foods. MAGA was whining their ass off to make sure that this guy was getting the proper organic, vegan, whatever it was, type of food. Soy boy type shit. This guy broke the law. He broke into a federal building. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was part of the riot. And he's still getting treated like a human in a prison. And then now you're complaining that the Congress can't go in to inspect this detention center.
Selective patriotism.
Right.
It's just insane. Like they pick and choose whatever it is they want to care about.
They've been warning that they were going to arrest mayors, governors, any other elected officials who were going to be protecting people in sanctuary cities and other places like that.
Yep.
And this, again, like when I was talking about earlier, is like this is rhetoric. This is the actions they've taken that have created this crisis.
It's really scary to be in America right now. There's like a lot of things that are happening that are making us terrified. I'm looking at the list of things we could talk about. I feel like the topic is naturally flowing into how they're tracking us if we leave the country. They have checkpoints now if you're going to Canada. I mean, there was a girl with a global card who was detained and people are trying to go through her phones. Or if you're a social media content creator, your parents are being questioned. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I have plans to go visit my family in Mexico this year, and I honestly don't know what the game plan is. Only because, I work here, I make my own content, I say my own things online. They're very much anti-fascism, and that should not be a hot take in 2025,
no,
but
right?
here we are.
This isn't controversial. It's common sense.
It's just like we did it once before, and we were very, very, very anti-fascist, and now being anti-fascist is fascist according to MAGA. So when I...
What?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
You every day I wake up and I realize that you cannot reason with idiots with shit for brains.
I feel bad for them. I'm like, I wish you weren't this angry. Like, I wish that you could come out of this and realize that you don't have to be this way. Mm-hmm. But they aren't, and then they're ruining everyone else's lives.
Right? Like,
I genuinely feel bad for you. Leave
because
the
it
cult.
doesn't go anywhere else.
Leave it.
This woman was being interviewed and she had a Trump hat on and a peace sign on her shirt, and someone was like, "So you don't like that Trump did this, and like all the illegal things he did?" And she's like, "Well, I'm a really big Trump supporter, so it doesn't bother me."
Yeah.
It just makes me want to die. Yeah, and then Stephen Miller claiming they want to suspend habeas corpus, which is insane and Gestapo and fascist.
It's very, very Nazi. But then again, Stephen Miller is very much like the Joseph Goebbels
so
of our...
fucking gross.
Yeah. He's the architect of the kids in cages, like separating families and putting them in kids in cages, which the Trump administration still, up until Biden came into office, they were like, we don't know where this kid came from or like who he belongs to. And these kids have spent months, if not years, in different detention centers, and they lost that youth, that innocence. And that is Stephen Miller.
These people feel like movie villains to me. I'm like, they
Literally,
even look like movie villains.
Yeah. So habeas corpus might be suspended. That's great. Super great for the American people. On top of that, which falls perfectly in line with ICE agents with no marked clothing, no identification, no marked vehicles being able to kidnap people off the street. And as everyone could have predicted, this is inciting normal people who are not ICE literally at all to go in and start kidnapping people. But we can't fight it because there's no habeas, there's no this, there's no that, and that.
Yeah, these are people who are like locally trained militias who either were in the military or were never in the military, but they cosplay as someone in the military. And now they're showing up. I'm watching videos where a lot of people are like, these aren't ICE agents. These are just regular people who have all of the tactical gear, and they stormed in, and there were 5 or 6 of them. And if you're not a legal resident or citizen of this country, right now you are scared shitless because you're like, I don't know if I can go do the normal things that I can do during the day.
Can't even go to work. Can't go to the store.
I can't pick up my kids.
Can't do a thing.
Right. A lot of those things, like you're like, unmarked clothes, like they're showing up to schools in this place and this place.
Yeah.
Like, all of these parents and families are like, I cannot go out in public.
ICE vests you can get off Amazon now. And I've literally seen like videos of young men, white men, obviously, cosplaying it. And they're like, I love to see the people run.
Oh, I saw the guy at Home Depot. He had a photo outside Home Depot and was like, I love to see them run. And I was like, what kind of, one, don't you have a job?
It's grotesque. It's disgusting.
The amount of like evil, like vile, just gross energy you're putting out there to be like, let me go terrorize someone who, because of our citizenship process, makes it very difficult, and these people can't get the actual means of getting a job that would pay them, because right now we have a guy who wants to deport everyone, and so the only job they can get is day laborers. And so what are we going to do? We're going to scare them off from the only job they have possible.
It's like the lack of empathy. I know about it, and it shocks me every single time. I'm just like, what do you mean this is what you're doing with your time? What do you mean?
Like, we're talking about families being
There's
separated
so
and children being marooned.
to do with your life.
Yes.
Please get a hobby.
So many.
Please go paint a picture.
Take some personality classes.
Do
You maybe start dating someone and use your time for good. Like, it's just insane.
Jesus Christ, there's so many things that you could do. Go do anything else. Run around. You need to put this energy somewhere. It's so weird.
I'm not going to say that MAGA are Nazis, but they definitely do share, they definitely are, but they definitely do share a common trait, which is apathy. Because I can tell you right now that one of the things that came out from the Nuremberg trials, which were, post World War II Nazis holding them accountable, was the fact that medical experts were like, there was one common factor that we found amongst all these people, and it was apathy. And right now, the only difference between back then and right now is we have social media and TV to catch these things like Newark, or to catch people like ICE agents or not ICE agents that are taking people, or to catch other acts that are happening where you would, normally in any other scenario say like, hey, what the fuck? This is crazy, right?
I can never remember the difference between a psychopath or a sociopath, but whichever one turns you into a serial killer, I'm like, that's what you are. Like, what are you doing? You're torturing people? You're like the little kid who puts a cat in a bag and hurts them?
Well, yeah, but their reasoning is nice guys finish last, so why would I care about you?
So, like, that's what's
insane right?
to me. I'm like,
it's basic common sense.
I'm not even asking you to, like, care.
Coming from an entire group of people who will get mad if you bring up their height, if you bring up their receding hairline, if you imply that they don't get any fucking play. Like, you'd think you would have empathy considering how sensitive you are towards yourself, how sensitive you are when women shut you down. You think you would understand a modicum of what that would mean if you were actually locked in a fucking cage.
To a point that was brought up earlier, it really does circle around this idea of like, these MAGA Republicans, whatever, they think right now they're like, well, at least it's not me, right? Oh, it's not me.
It's only 4 years.
It's only like a bump in the road or whatever. Like, learn to get over it. But you have to also remember that like these are people who are like thinking that they are completely safe. Where they're like, oh, I am in a same-sex marriage, or I'm in an interracial marriage, or I am of this descent, or whatever it is. Those people are like, well, I supported and I voted for Donald Trump, so I'm one of the good ones. I'm a safe one. Up until the point at which, like, you blink your eyes, and the next second, one of those people are now getting arrested or detained or deported, and the justification is, well, they're not white, they're not straight, they're not this, they're not that, they're whatever. They don't look or feel or whatever. Very Nazi-like type of rhetoric.
And they can't
beliefs.
fight it because then the Trump administration will just label them a terrorist.
Right.
I saw a video, I don't know who that bitch is with the brown hair, who is like, we will deport you. You are never coming back.
Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you.
Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you.
My cousin sent me that video and was like, this is
Is it in Mexico?
It's playing in at least Mexico because he said, I keep getting these ads on YouTube. The president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, responded and said, well, not only is this illegal, but you cannot advertise this to, like, my cousin sent me directly. He was like, we even want to come to America right now? Why would we ever even consider that to be a possibility?
Someone was like, they were interviewing MAGA, which of course just never goes well. And he was like, I don't care where they came from. They're not from here. He's like, well, they're sending people to El Salvador who have never been to El Salvador. He's like, I don't care. This isn't their home. I call it a homecoming for them. They should go wherever they want. It's a very dark time to be an American right now. The world is a dark, dark place, and America is just worse every single... I'm not kidding you when I say every single day I wake up and there is another news story that makes me, like, clutch my pearls. There's another news story that makes me so angry. I'm literally reaching a point where I'm like, the people are too stupid. We can't save ourselves. They see the same things as us. They don't care.
Well, they don't... I mean, they don't
They're
care.
excited about it.
Well, they don't care. They're excited because they're just like, it's not me. I'm never going to be a problem. I mean, you got Marco Rubio, who is the Secretary of State, saying, literally... their policy when it comes to immigration, deportation, all that stuff, he says, the further away from America, the better. And they were talking about sending people, and they were having negotiations with people in the Middle East and other parts of the world where they're like, where else can we send these people? Because El Salvador seems to be a bust now. Like, we can't send them into El Salvador anymore. So now we got to find somewhere else to send them. We can't send them to Guantanamo Bay. We're not going to do Alcatraz because, of course, Alcatraz is the dumbest idea ever. But they're literally saying we need to send them somewhere else. And the further away, the better, because they cannot get back over. And if it's over, an ocean, great.
We have to keep doing all of those things and continue contacting our elected officials because obviously they have a lot more power than a lot of us technically. But yeah, I definitely hear you.
Right now, I look at this as this Fourth Reich, French Revolution, hodgepodge situation that's going
I'm like,
on.
other countries are begging us to wake the fuck up, and I'm like, we're too afraid. I don't want to be on the front lines with a gun. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to ask anyone else to do it. I just wish people had common sense and would treat people with common human decency because we're all entitled to it. And it's not rocket science. Can we move forward? Let's focus on something else that won't make me want to cry. A funny comment left by Andrew S. Giovanni on our video talking about shop our values, we won't compromise our morals, and people that like our morals can buy our clothing and games and books and stuff because you are probably on the right side of history. And he says $100 says these guys advertise under another brand name with opposite message targeting the other side. And I can tell you, you have literally never been more wrong. I would rather see MAGA naked crawling over broken glass than wearing Medusa that says female gaze. You don't deserve to be looked at. You don't deserve human rights because you think it's honestly okay to take them from every other person. I would literally rather choke on my own tongue than put a shirt on your back.
I'm sure that there are companies that do that. They're usually massive corporations. Boardwalk is not one of those things. And the founders don't believe in any of that and hate all of that. So no, they're not.
And a review I wanted to talk about was from Kivan, and it's on our female gaze shirts. Title is, I'll take my t-shirts with a side of wry political commentary. Review says, the quality of the shirts and printing is great. Colors are bright and lines are sharp. I love the glares from MAGA voters as I wear my T-Rex Make Billionaires Extinct shirt all around town on my errand Saturday. We'll wear my female gaze shirt to our town's protest next weekend. I absolutely support small businesses that bravely stand up. We want to thank you for being brave in a community that sounds like it's not the most accepting of you, and for using our clothes to kind of take a stand and hopefully bring other people to Boardwalk and help them Riley protest, because Lord, do we need that right now. And now we're going to move on to our audio listeners, to the Delve Deck portion of the podcast, where we all get excited to talk about things that don't make us want to cry. I'll start. Wait, no, we start with venting usually.
We're going to start with the venting edition, Delve Deck. What is the most difficult part of your job?
Staying updated on the news and not being able to turn a blind eye and having an aching awareness of how crippling our country is right now, and how every single day I lose more and more hope in humanity, and I have nightmares, and I just can't. I literally am so depressed. I love this job. Love this job. Love this job. I wish I could just be blissfully unaware again, because it's really hard to like have a crippling sense of awareness and understand what is happening, and everyone around us is like, la 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 la. I'm like, I wish I could go to Coachella and shut my brain off for a second. Oh my God, this sounds so fun.
In a similar way of Ansley, like I do a lot of political content, parody, satire, stuff like that. And it is like people who watch my stuff are like, man, how do you do it? Like, how do you do this? Like, I wake up some days where I'm like, I don't want to really do anything today. Like, I'll maybe scan some sites and read some news. But do I feel like writing something and like getting it out or like filming something? No, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a mental health day today. Like, I think also is trying to understand the opposite side in some of the things that they do. There is a moment like, okay, let me just empathize for a moment and try to understand. Maybe this person is coming at it from the like not knowing or whatever. And it does like, I think that's some of the most like taxing stuff is like trying to put yourself in that person's shoes to understand why they might do something, good, bad, whatever. It's that kind of like trying to put myself in someone else's shoes, whether or not I like them, just for the means of like, what is the angle that they're coming from right now? And it's not just this one thing. What else is looming in the background that they're setting up for?
My answer is, as an actor, I think the hardest thing for me is that a massive, gigantic part of our job is our physical appearance, because we are on camera. And so the way you look matters. And I'm a person who like has struggled with eating disorders basically my entire life, and body dysmorphia and all of that. And I think that in order, like I've obviously done therapy and work on that. And I think that I can like say that all of these things don't matter, but like my brain is not wired that way to actually believe that it doesn't matter. I think seeing myself on camera is very unhealthy for me, but we shut that part off. And I think like I know friends who have dealt with this as well, who are like, have really done the hard work and like have really gotten out on the other side and are so much healthier for it. But I'm like, yeah, you work at an office. Like there is a part of me, like they'll be like, oh, I did this, and this, and now I feel better. I'm like, you don't have to see yourself on camera. Like, and I like genuinely don't think that I will ever be able to fully recover until I quit acting.
We're going to the original Delve Deck now. I'm going to go, what have you managed to avoid your whole life?
I've avoided seeing a bunch of movies that I don't care about. Majority of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I have avoided getting chickenpox.
Ooh,
Whoa.
You're gonna get shingles.
Hey, baby.
Wait, why?
I don't know. I think that I don't know.
I was
Isn't that a
vaccinated.
thing?
Yeah. I was vaccinated, but like
I thought you just like happened to avoid it. I think then you're more likely to get shingles.
Yeah.
I was working at a summer camp, and I had a riddle for the kids one time, and I was like, what's been around for thousands of years but only a month? And the answer is the moon, because it goes through cycles. And one of my kids goes, unvaccinated children. And I was like, you can't be this self-aware. He's like 10, probably a legal adult now. I don't even know. But that kid was the wittiest. I was like, oh my God. Okay. I'm like, the OCD is making it hard for me to want to say what I've managed to avoid, because then I'm like, it's going to happen. So I'll say something I would like to happen. I would like to meet one of you transphobes, racist motherfuckers in a bathroom. I would love that. So much pent-up rage and aggression. And for some reason, whenever I see these videos of these people and all this funny, I'm never in the right place at the right time. So I've managed to
yell
avoid.
at someone.
Yeah. So let me attract that.
Should I do some deep joy? Do we
Yeah.
want to get
Give me something
joy?
good, please.
I should have been looking at. Oh, what is at the top of your bucket list?
Ooh.
I had an automatic answer for that. So
What was
that
it?
I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast, but my like number one bucket list like thing that I want to do is go to all 7 continents.
Ooh, that's cool.
And so that is something I will accomplish in my life.
Mine is, or at least one of the top ones is, I've never gone skydiving, and I would love to go skydiving.
Yuck, Gabe.
What?
I've heard.
We're trying to bring joy to this podcast. You're going to talk about
adrenaline.
shit like that. Go
This is
swim with a
crazy.
shark, Gabe.
I'm not going to go do that. Okay, there are certain things, like I'll climb up on top of buildings.
I know. Oh, I forgot you used to take those pictures. Those are the worst. You would post them on social media, ruin everyone's day.
They
God.
were great. They were fun.
What are these
He would hang over tops of buildings and take pictures of his feet hanging over the street.
I like heights, and I like that thrill. And I've never gone skydiving, but I would love to go.
You don't worry about the parachute at all?
Hey, man, if it opens, it opens. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't open, there's a backup.
I want to be in a period piece movie where I ride a horse.
Oh,
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a great bucket list.
Caster.
I was just going to say it's not in my control, so that's why I feel like I can't.
It is, though. It is.
I could just write my own movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a writer.
Bingo.
The entire movie is just Ansley rides horses.
And she rode. And it's like, where is she going? We may never know.
We may never find out.
Where are we all
Cliffhanger,
going? Yeah.
part 2 coming
No,
soon.
and it's a literal cliffhanger, and then it cuts to an end credit scene of Gabe cliffhanging over something. Anyway, let's wrap up the podcast. Dark times in America, but at least we're here together.
Let's go live with the penguins instead.
Yes, and if you want to talk about anything other than the current political climate, you can buy these delve decks at boardwalk.com and take the plunge today. I promise it'll make you feel better. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Okay, goodbye, you guys.